I think a lot of agents just give up too soon.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of like that one picture of the person mining the axe, and it's like they're almost at the gold.
Yes.
But because they can't see the goal, they stop.
Turner. Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like agents are so close to the goal. It's just that you stop because of the chargeback. You stop because of I can't get any more CABOOM leads. You stop because of whatever it is. But like, man, you're so close. It's the $1 trillion industry, man. The thing works. There's so many winners. You winning it. I winning it. You're winning it in Michael Bond. There's so many winners. But like, you need to realize it's not gonna be easy. There's gonna be a fight. If you're willing for the fight, you will win.
What is up? Welcome back to the CA Power Player Podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins. And today I love doing podcasts in person, man. I'm super excited. We've had one of the gentlemen that I'm about to introduce, we've had in the podcast several times. We also have a new face to the podcast, which I love doing, super excited about. Here's what's cool. Here's why you will enjoy this episode. If you are an agent that is looking to sell more consistently, make more money consistently, you will love this episode. If you're also an agent that's like, dude, I'm interested in final expense, but I'm also interested in Medicare, or I'm successful at one or the other, but the other one is kind of intriguing, then you also love this episode. We've had Mike Kwarteng and Jalen Talley on numerous times from True Wealth. They're crushing it at helping agents get paid, right? Which is cool,
get
man.
Paid.
So welcome back, Mike Kwarteng.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, bro. Good to see you. And then also new face, which I'm super excited about. Known him for years. Good dude. From Serenity. They call him the Medicare man now.
Yes,
sir. His final expense for years.
Yes.
Michael Bond. What's up, sir?
Hey, man. Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, man.
Enjoying this. So.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate you. So here's why I wanted to kick it off. Kwarteng, a bunch of guys have heard, a bunch of our audience has probably heard your story at some point. For sure. But I would love for each of you really quick to share, like, what did your first few years look like in just a couple of minutes?
For sure, yeah. First of all, man, the new lights, right? Is that new?
You like this?
I like
this
that.
Is good.
That's cool, man.
Can you guys see this?
I like the new lights. But yeah, man, I was in college at the Ohio State University. I was broke. The Ohio State University. I was broke with multiple O's, man, like in college, just trying to figure out. And my business partner, Jalen, he's like, hey, man, he came home one day. He got a big commission check. He's like, Mike, look how much I made in one day. I was like, cool, awesome, I'm all in.
Do you remember what that was?
It wasn't much, like $1,000.
Yeah, but when you're in college, he could have said like $112. You know.
Exactly. So that was it for me. I got my insurance license, and then my first 3 months, man, it was challenging. It was 2019, December. 2019, almost about to be COVID, and I was doing face-to-face sales. I was buying leads, breaking even, being told to drive 2 hours away to just run leads in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Were you calling or door knocking?
Or just straight door knocking.
Just straight door knocking. Not picking up the phone at all.
Exactly. My mentor said, do it this way. I did it that way.
Which worked and still works, by the way.
Exactly.
For the record.
Yeah. Face-to-face is not dead.
No.
So I was doing face-to-face sales in 2019, December. First 3 months, buying leads. I was seeing like a $1,000 or $2,000 profit, if that. But then something clicked. And then after month 3, I saw Jalen go out there with the same leads I had, same script I had, same everything I had. And he went out there in March of 2020 and did about $29,000 in sales. And keep in mind, we were roommates at that time. I was like, man, if he can do it, I can do it too.
Yeah.
So after that, started crushing it, started seeing, 5 figures a month, and it's been up since then.
That's awesome, dude. I love that, man. That's exciting.
It's amazing. Just like we've known each other for many years, and just seeing your growth,
Thanks,
both of you, it's amazing. And that's why, of course, we partnered up. I mean, there was a reason for that.
For sure.
Kind of for me, I mean, when I first got into the business, I was actually in the liquor store business. At that time, believe it or not, I actually had hair. That's what happened.
So liquor didn't drive it away, but insurance did.
No, the liquor store did, really. So that's really kind of where it all started was, I mean, me and my family, I thought I was going to retire and be able to like have this nice life, own the liquor store.
Wow.
And
So you owned it?
Yeah, owned it.
Cool.
And I was in that business for many years, and it came to the point I was working 70, 80 hours a week. To this day, I mean, me and my wife, we said, I mean, if we probably had that store maybe 3 to 6 months longer, we probably would have been divorced.
Wow.
And it was just one day, my insurance agent came in that handles all my stuff, and it's like, hey, I'm looking to retire. Would you happen to know of anybody that would buy my agency? I said, let's talk. And so we did, and he's like, Mike, you own the store. I said, I can get rid of this tomorrow. And I'm one of those ones, when I do something, I jump all in.
Yeah, I love that.
I mean, I remember when I started golfing, I had to go out there and pretend like I was a pro and buy all this stuff, and I could barely even hit the ball. But when I get in, I jumped in. So I bought an agency, and I had no clue what I was doing. And got the agency, found out that it was a health insurance agency.
Yikes.
And that's when Obamacare just came in. Well, then they pretty much said, okay, all agents, we're not paying you anymore. And I had no clue what I was going to do. So I decided I went actually captive. I was a captive agent with this one company. And I did that for 5 years. I was strictly final expense, kind of like Mike was saying. With myself, I had to travel 3 hours one way to see my leads. I had no choice of where I was getting my leads.
Because you live out in the middle of nowhere, or?
I live in the middle of nowhere, yes.
In Missouri still, though.
Right, in Missouri, yes, in Missouri. So, yes, I was in the middle of nowhere, and I was doing that. But I was determined I wasn't going to fail again. So the first year, I mean, it was very tough. And my wife was just like, why are we doing this again? Like, we already had to go through this tough time. I said, please just support me and please go. Every year it got easier and easier. And then again, door knocker. I mean, to this day, I mean, I love knocking those doors. And it just kind of got to the point when 5 years into it, that's when COVID hit. Wow. And COVID hit, and it was a squash on the door knocking. They pretty much said, we don't want any agents in a home. If we catch you in a home, we're going to terminate your contract. So now I'm sitting there.
That's funny, man. I was still door knocking at that time.
Yeah. Did you stay on the porch, or did you go in?
I go inside, man.
Let's go.
We have a desire to win. Like,
Yeah.
you do whatever it takes
No doubt.
to make it happen.
I did hear some companies saying that, though.
Yep.
But you're a captive, right?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
captive.
Yeah.
So then
You know,
I was
choice.
like, I'm just going to live. I'm like, this is great. I got a great residual income. I was a great producer for my first 5 years. I'm going to sit back and enjoy some of this residual income. Well, then they started changing the rules a little bit, and that's when telesales really kind of started coming out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I don't know if I can do this telesales side. I need to start seeing face-to-face.
Yeah.
And that's when I decided to go independent. And that's how Serenity Insurance met
True wealth.
with True Wealth. And we just started really forming a partnership. We align very well. Our morals align.
All good dudes, by the way. All good dudes.
They are. I mean, I remember calling up Mike one day and said, hey, I just want to let you know that if anything ever happens to me, my wife's calling you. Like, you're going to help her out through that whole process because you guys I trust. Okay. That, some people would have been like, oh, you got this great book of business. We'll cut you a check for this. And my wife would be like, okay, that sounds pretty fair. But I know that they'll take care of her and help her through that process. That's just where we've just built our, Mike's a brother to me.
Yeah. The one thing I love about you, man, is like, when it comes to who you are as a person, your integrity is amazing. But when it comes to the skill set, the sales part of you is like, your persistency has always been through the roof. Like, Cody, it's like always been, 88% and above?
Usually over 90, but
over 90%, which is amazing.
Means he's really good with people, man.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. And you were selling a product at the captive agency that was one of the highest in the industry.
Yes. Yep.
It's crazy.
Wow, that's insane. You know what? I heard a few things there. Obviously, we talked. You both mentioned door knocking at one point, right? And their agencies also do phone sales now too. But Bond, you mentioned Michael Bond. You mentioned what's interesting is you went through a couple things early in your business that most people would have left the industry over, by the way, right? That's what I heard. You didn't say that, but I heard that. You bought a book and paid money for somebody else's business and then in book of business. And then they stopped paying commissions. Right? Then COVID. And I'm like, dude, and then transition to a different part of the business, right?
Yeah.
For, and helps in really leading the Medicare side of y'all's entire operation.
Yeah.
What type of individual keeps going through that and keeps believing insurance is for me when you already had a successful business before insurance?
It's more of helping people out. I mean, I really felt like God put me in this position for a reason. And really the clicker for me was I'd met up with a client and she was just so excited because she had just gotten baptized. So we were talking about that. Awesome. And then the conversation came into, she was like, I know one day I'm never going to be able to see my husband again because my husband doesn't believe. And so I just kind of talked with her. I said, first off, you can't force him. Okay. All we can do is pray about it. God will do his work. And so we had said a little prayer together. And then right after that, she was like, I'm so excited. I'm trying to save up for a Bible. And I mean, here's this lady that's living on $800 a month on Social Security, can barely survive. And so she was like, my church gave me a Bible, but I want my own Bible. So I went out to my car, grabbed my Bible, came back in. I said, hey, this is yours. God told me that I needed to give this to you. So there's a lot of notes in there. So make sure you read some of these notes. I said, there's a lot in there. And it was about a week or two later. For some reason, God likes to talk to me like 1-2 o'clock in the morning. And I was just wide awake and he goes, you finally found the purpose here. So I actually went out to my office at home and I ordered brand new Bibles. I keep these Bibles in my car. I have a little paper that I put in each Bible with all my favorite Bible verses. And I let just people know that me and my wife are here anytime you ever need it. I don't care if it's 2-3 o'clock in the morning, you can call. And I fell in love with that business. And the other drive is I just couldn't let my family down. Again, because that's what I felt like in the liquor business, that I'm like, I can't give up. I know what the passion was. I know where I wanted to be. And I don't know a broke, successful insurance agent. Mm-hmm. So.
No.
Do you know one? I
don't. That's amazing, man.
I don't either. I mean, there's plenty of people that are like mentally broken when they come in, or they go through so much struggle that like it starts to affect them. I was thinking about it. We were just talking about an event that our agency does together, called the Main Event. I'm speaking at it, I think Saturday. Yeah. And I was thinking about what do I need to share? Because we have a bunch of new people there.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about like the number one thing that every new person needs. And sure, we could say it's CABOOM, but it's not necessarily the case. What they really need is that no matter how hard it gets, they keep pushing forward.
That's it.
Because this business gets really good if you can stick it out long enough.
That's it.
You stuck it out long enough because you could have said, Jalen's more natural. Right. Jalen's better. Right. He's doing good, but I'm not.
Right.
And naturally being competitive and competitive in what you do, heck, competitive in the gym, freaking swole, right? You are competitive.
For sure.
I think you played rugby or something too.
I
Just
did.
Freaking crazy. You got to be competitive and crazy to play rugby.
A little bit both.
Why did you persist and keep moving?
Good question, man. I feel like for me, it's changing. But for me, like right now, my current season right now, it's like the people behind me. I think about Michael Bond. I think about the other hundreds of agents in our agency right now. And I even told him this past week, man, like this past week, I had to do like a morning training call for our team all the time. Hey, guys, honestly, I did not want to show up today. I was being trained, like I did not want to do this morning call today. But like, I did it because of you guys. Like, I know you're the same way too. Like, there's times where you probably don't want to show up, but you do it because of the team you have around you. It's like, you don't want to let them down because they're showing up too.
Correct.
So for me, it's like, it's the team. At the time when I was broke, it was just my parents. It was my brother. I have a brother right now that he has seizures multiple times a week, and I feel like I'm doing life for him. My parents are both from Ghana. They're immigrant parents, and I feel like they've done so much to get me where I'm at right now. I had to show up for them. I'm just like, so for me, it's like I want to be an example for others that look like me, similar background. Like, hey, you can be the one to change it in your family. Like, I'm so competitive, man. Like, I want everything, man. I want all of it, but I want to just show people that it's possible. Like, why can't I be the person that changes the generational finances for my family? Like, it can be me.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
for me, it was just like, I knew this is the vehicle I wanted to do. It's just a matter of just doing it all the time, consistency, and not giving up. I think a lot of agents just give up too soon.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of like that one picture of the person mining the axe, and it's like they're almost at the gold.
Yes.
But because they can't see the goal, they stop.
Turner. Yep.
You know what I mean?
It's good.
Like, I feel like agents are so close to the goal. It's just that you stop because of the chargeback. You stop because of I can't get any more CABOOM leads. You stop because of whatever it is. But like, man, you're so close. It's the $1 trillion industry, man. The thing works. There's so many winners. You winning it. I winning it. You're winning it. And Michael Bond. There's so many winners. But like, you need to realize it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be a fight. If you're willing for the fight, you will win.
Amen.
Well, I think to add something to that is so many agents out there, they think this is a get rich quick industry. And it's not. You have to, I mean, people see us, our agents within our agency see us, what we're doing, and either vacations or taking a day off, that they didn't see what we had to struggle through. I mean, I know when I first got into this business, I mean, I had to come home to my wife sometime and say, hey, we're going to be late. You're going to be getting something in the mail. We're late on our electric bill. But I had to take that money to buy leads. When I come back from St. Louis, we're going to have money to pay that electric bill. But I had to believe in myself, and I had to know that as long as I put in the work and the effort and listen to, at that time I didn't have great mentors. I had to reach out to different mentors. But I think the reason why our agency is booming so much, it's who we are as leaders,
For sure.
but also who we have for mentors and leaders. You've got to, in this business, you have to surround yourself with the right people.
For sure.
And I'm grateful for where I am today because of the mentors that I have.
Yeah.
Amen.
And without them, I mean, I don't know where I would be right now because I was still trying to do it on my own.
Yeah.
That's right.
Being coachable is big. I agree.
It's huge, man. It's huge. You also talked about, made me think about something too that I feel like a lot of agents struggle with, which is managing stress. You know, like even though I don't know if you felt stressed out or not, but you talked about, hey, dude, I'm going to St. Louis to try to pay for an electric bill. That's a heavy burden.
Yeah.
It is when you're trying to take care of a family and like manage. How have you managed stress over the years? And what advice would you give to agents that are maybe struggling with that?
I mean, just sitting on your couch, the stress isn't going to get any easier. I mean, that's the biggest thing is get up off the couch.
It's so easy to not want to move, though, to your point.
It is. But you've got to, if you're going to get into this industry, you can't be afraid to work. Okay. You now, I mean, luckily, agents now, they have two options. When I first started, it was one option. You knock doors. I mean, I was still writing applications on paper.
Wow.
Okay. Don't have all the technology now, but it's how bad you want it. Where do you want to see yourself in 5 years? I didn't want to see myself in 5 years being broke.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to see a change for my family, and that's why I work so hard. You look at all the successful people within our agency, it's work. It's being coachable and trusting the process. Problem is a lot of agents, they don't trust the process.
Yeah.
They think, okay, I'm going to buy a batch of leads and I'm going to be a millionaire at the end of those leads, that every single lead is going to be a sale. The thing that I learned when I first got into this business is, one, I invested in leads. Okay. Did I close a lot of leads? No, I didn't. But I learned from every single one. And I didn't just say, I'm going to buy leads this week. I'm not going to get leads the following week. I was consistent with the leads. I was consistent out there because, one, some people look like, and again, I felt sorry for myself that I had to drive 3 hours, be away from my home. But that also put the pressure. I was 3 hours away. I didn't get to go home to see my family afterwards.
True.
I was out there working. I was out there knocking doors from 9 o'clock in the morning to 8, 9 o'clock at night. Yeah. Okay. If I was going to be away from my family, I'm working.
Amen.
And that was the great part where I think nowadays some people, especially say telesales, you get distracted. You're at home. Yeah. Okay. Next thing you know,
it is easy.
You're sitting there and you're like, okay, I'll make a couple phone calls. Now I'm going to go wash the laundry or do this and so forth. Yeah. So you have to stay focused. You have to have a why.
Amen.
And if your why is just money, that's not going to do it either.
It will only last so long.
And to also like answer your question more, like to me, like it is easy to get stressed. I get that. But like if you believe, you shouldn't be stressed. Like you know you're going to get that. Like if you really believe that outcome you want is already, I call it, it's already done. You shouldn't be stressed about it. It's just a matter of just faith. It's a matter of time. Like if you can see above the steps, like you just know it's faith, you know? So to me, I love that, man. And also to the other point, like agents have a hard time, challenging time, I would say, buying leads. They got to pay all their other bills first. Yep. It's a kind of clients. Like clients are paying all their other bills, and then they're paying their insurance policy. And I feel like agents are doing the same thing too. They're paying all their other bills. Oh man, I got about $200 left for some leads. Let me buy some leads now. Like it should be paying your business first, then paying your other stuff second. Like you can't make more money without getting more leads. You need to get more leads to get more sales.
You're right.
You know,
it's tough to manage. You also mentioned mentorship too.
Yeah,
I know that's something you guys do a ton within your agencies. Why is mentorship and like plugging in and having someone hold you accountable and mentor you so important?
It's huge, man. It's huge. Like it's almost like the GPS. If you knew the end destination, you feel a lot more comfortable getting there. You will accelerate towards it. So having a mentor, that person knows the end destination. So agents for our team, like they have a blueprint to make 10,000, 20,000, 30, whatever it is. Like there is a blueprint to that. So having a mentor, the biggest thing is also being coachable. Like a lot of agents think they know everything, but that's a hard time. That's a challenging thing about being a mentee is that you don't know what you don't know. So your mentor is telling you things to do, things that are ethical, then do it because that person has the blueprint. So for us, you get mentorship from myself and Jalen and Michael Bond and other leaders. It's actually a whole entire leadership team here, which makes it better because we understand not everyone has the same personality. So you get to have other people to, I guess, vibe with if need to be. You want to hit upon that too?
That's good.
Yeah. So the company that I was with before, there was no mentorship. Okay. When COVID hit, I didn't even know if I wanted to be insurance anymore. Okay.
Wow.
I got burned out and I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Okay. The previous company that I was with, I mean, did a number on me just towards the end, how everything just broke up. I'm like, man, this isn't right.
Sucks.
And so my mindset, my mind space was horrible. I like I said, I had no clue. So I reached out to one of our mentors, and that's how I met Mike and Jalen. And reached out to Damon because he was at the previous company.
I like Damon.
And so I just said, I need to get into this broker world. Okay, everybody tells me brokers are broke. Okay, I need to find out what this broker world is.
Weird.
Okay.
It's almost like when somebody's saying that, it's almost always like the freaking opposite of whatever somebody is saying every time. When I started, they used to call Medicare Advantage plans a disadvantage plan, and they had like this whole disadvantage brochure. You wonder why? they didn't sell them.
Right.
There's mind trickery going on, right? Something's
right.
So what I did is I took took a commission cut, and I just said, I'm going to go over there. And one thing that I'm so grateful on that part was it got my mindset correct, put me back into the business, put fuel in my passion back. And then I started getting a better relationship with Mike and Jalen. I mean, I still remember this day that I asked them one time, it's like, what commission level are you guys on? They're like, I don't know. We're just out here just selling. I have no clue. Does it tell you somewhere? Like, I mean, I still remember those conversations.
That's amazing.
So it was just more of like helping each other out, because there was so much on that I could help them with the actual business side.
Yeah.
And them being younger than I am, they helped me out so much on the social media side, just learning that part, because I didn't even know what TikTok or all this other stuff, Instagram. And so they helped me out on that part. But it's having the right mentor and having that guidance, because there's so many people out there that will just say, here's some knowledge for you. Here's a little book. Go out there and sell.
Yeah.
Okay, what am I supposed to do with this?
In this business, a mentor is like everything. You find the right mentor, you are pretty much guaranteed to win if you listen to the right person. Like the right leads, the right script, the right schedule, the right person development, the right contract. Like, to find the right mentor in this business is literally everything. Like, if you find the right person, it's going to pay you. It's going to save you a lot of time.
Yeah, it's super important. Why final expense?
It's good for the now money. I also think because it's easier, quote unquote, sale. Most people are between ages 50 to 85. They're already at home watching The Price is Right. So when you call them and see them at their home, they're already, during their commercials, they're already seeing ads about, hey, did you know the cost of barrels are rising, right? So they already kind of know, like, it's that time in their age that they need to get something in order. It's also I see it once again, an easier sale because it's more streamlined. There's not the whole IUL, MEC limit, stuff like that. Sure. Also, a final expense, the carrier is going to get the client approved usually on the spot. And we teach agents to do a one-call close. So like I said, it's the now money. It's if you want to make $20,000 your first month as an agent, you can do that here selling final expense over the phone or face-to-face. Yeah.
Why Medicare?
Well, final expense gave me a great life, okay? But when I took that year off after my 5 years of just doing nothing but final expense, I had a great residual income. But after a year, I noticed that it shrunk very quickly. And I was learning I learned that, okay, I've got two ways that I could build in the final expense business: grow a very large team and get those overrides coming in, or keep writing on my own pen. And I knew I didn't want to have to write business for the rest of my life. And I also knew that I didn't want to grow a humongous team. That just in my point in my life is I want to be able to start spending that more with my family. So I started getting into the Medicare side, starting to learn about that. And the residual income is the reason why I transitioned over to that, is because I wanted to build that residual income. So final expense is great for a great start. And there's many people that stay in final expense for the rest of their life. But if you're looking at trying to build that back end, the Medicare side is the way to go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's phenomenal for that. And you see some agents, that's the unique part of this business, right? Some agents are transitioning completely. Yeah. Some agents they already have FE clients, they're running FE appointments, and they're just like, hey, I'm just going to fact find and cross sell, and add that along the way and do both.
They do go hand in hand.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, we have agents that are, again, their lane is final expense, but they sell 100 Medicare policies a year of just cross-selling.
That's awesome.
3 years, that's just on the Medicare side in 3 years, is $100,000 in residual income.
And if you have two policies in one home, like a final expense and a Medicare, the persistency is also going to be higher as well. So like I said, it goes hand in hand.
88-90% plus, man.
Exactly.
Exactly. Last question: how important is obviously you guys do a good job with culture, community, daily calls, training stuff all the time. Whether they're like, hey, I want to sell FE and just learn Medicare along the way, or vice versa or whatever. Speak to that. If someone's out there and they do feel like totally on an island alone and they don't have that camaraderie and help at all.
Yeah. I'll say reach out. Doesn't hurt to have a conversation. I wouldn't just say it's just me and Micah Bond. It's a whole entire team here at True Wealth. I mean, we have a great IMO with Last and Mark, which you're a part of, and your father and Roger Short. It's like a whole culture here. It's a whole team here. So, and then there's another tons of agents behind us with True Wealth. So like we have things like the live dial session where people are on a Zoom call and everyone is collaborating and helping each other out. If someone calls a client, they need help, there's another leader there that can help you out on that live call with the client to make sure you get that policy done. It's one of those things where people will talk about community culture and like, oh, it's great here, but like it really is thriving. Everyone wants to see everyone win. There's like I said, daily calls. We have events with our IMO once a quarter, I would say. It's one of those things where, especially for me, my perspective, like I take every agent's success like it's my success. Like I am the kind of person that I will get on a one-on-one call with you and I will spend hours with you. If you want to win, I'll make sure I meet you in the 50-yard line to make sure you win. Like that's how literal I am. Like I want to make sure that you hit your goals, you see the success you want to see, because if I could play a small percent in your success and you can do the same thing for another person behind me, we're all winning.
Yeah, I can build something special.
Exactly. Go ahead, Mike.
I think you can't do this business alone. Especially there's so many different products out there. Of course, I got to give your dad a shout out, and he paid me $100 to say this. No, I'm just kidding. But the cross sell sheet. I mean, there's so many products out there that people tend to try to sit there and try to get into many different lanes. You got to stick into one lane, okay? Make that your focus, okay? And then you have specialists, and that's what's great within our organization is we have specialists in every one of those lanes, okay? You don't have to do it by yourself. So like on the Medicare side, we've got Caroline that is T65 seminars, okay? We have people that are doing Zoom seminars. We have people that are doing telesales. Like we have specialists in every single area, okay? And that's the thing that I think we've learned together is you can't do it by yourself. You have to have the help, and you can't grow outwards without growing down first, okay? Having those roots and having the foundation. And I think that's what we've been amazing to do is getting those roots dug in the ground so deep that there's nothing that can destroy us.
Yeah. No doubt, man. If they want to learn more, well, what should they do? Where should they go if they want to get in touch with either of you?
Go ahead, man.
You go first.
Awesome. Yeah. At True Wealth. So at TRUU Wealth. Personal is at Mike Kwarteng. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're trying to get our YouTube to where like yours is at. But we'll get there.
Yeah, it may pass me any day.
We're a few podcasts away.
Sure.
So our YouTube's also at True Wealth as well.
And Serenity Insurance Group. Instagram, I know that we have all the other platforms, guys. I'm not the social media person. I hire that out, so I don't know exactly where they are. But like I said, Serenity Insurance Group.
If they wanted to email you, maybe if they wanted the cross-selling sheet.
Michael at serenityinsurancegroup.com.
Cool. I love it. Thank you both for being on.
For sure, man.
The Power Player Podcast. Awesome. Appreciate you both.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you guys as well, man. Appreciate you hanging and listening and learning. I have a whole page of notes. Hopefully you do too. Now go apply them. Thanks for hanging on the Power Players Podcast. We will see you on the next one. CABOOM.